Hey everybody, this is D Hunter bringing another action figure review. Today we're going to be looking at the Jazwares Fortnite Legendary Series 6-inch scale Raven action figure. This is part of the third assortment, Series 3 of the Jazwares 6-inch figures. I had read that people were finding these figures at Walmart, so a couple days ago I hit a couple different Walmarts with really no success. But I did notice one of my Walmarts had completely empty pegs on these Fortnite Legendary Series figures, so I knew they'd be restocking soon, presumably with a new wave. So I went ahead and checked out that Walmart today. Bam, here it is. They had the entire wave. Went ahead and grabbed them all. Let's go ahead and check out the packaging here. As you can see, Epic Games, Fortnite, ages 8+, Legendary Series, which means it's the 6-inch scale figures, not the usual 4-inch Jazwares figures. Raven has a total of 3 different faces. Comes with Kevin the Cube, at least a smaller version of it. That's sort of a fan nickname that caught on with the creators. Looks like his back bling is the iron cage. His pickaxe here is the iron beak. Looks like a bolt action sniper rifle and a hand cannon. 38 points of articulation. Raven, 8 pieces. Here he is on the side. Same thing on the other side. Bottom here, we've got a barcode if anyone needs it, as well as a bunch of credits. On the back, got Raven here in the middle, and showing a few of the new figures from Series 2 and 3, Leviathan, Rust Lord, Peely, Molten Battlehound, DJ Yonder, and more coming soon. So with no further ado, let's open this guy up. And this figure was just one of many from a big Fortnite haul today. Between hitting one Target, one Walmart, I got everything I'm looking for, and I'm now fully caught up on the line. Alright, now that we got this figure out of the package, here he is with all of his accessories laid out. He does come with 3 alternate faces, a bolt sniper rifle, a hand cannon, a pickaxe, back bling, and a smaller version of Kevin the Cube. But before we look at the accessories, let's check out the actual figure. So I must say, I think this guy looks pretty cool. He's got his hood on. He's got this weird sort of collar thing sticking up. His face is kind of flat, which, I don't know. That's my only sort of complaint on him. I mean, the eyes look good, glowing. Just looks a little weird how he's flat. I mean, I guess that's the best way to get the effect of how this guy's supposed to look. But you can see with the light shining him, kind of ruins that. Going a little further down, he's got a purple scarf here, all kind of straps and harnesses on his chest. Got that traditional sash on his right arm, little pouch on his belt, armor on his knees, a little patch on his pants, some stuff hanging down. It's soft, can move out of the way pretty easily. Overall, I think this guy looks really, really cool. And then here's this guy broken down as far as he can go with all of his removable parts detached. Next, let's check out his accessories, starting off with his faces. And so here are his 3 different faces. The first one is the default sort of standard face that he came with in the package. The next one there, kind of looking like what's going on. One eye a little shorter than the other one, a little curious about something. And then the last one looks kind of mean or mad. Here he is with his first sort of regular looking standard face. Here's his next head where he's either curious about something or possibly doing his Dwayne Johnson rock impression. And then here's his third face, looking mean or angry, maybe giving that look after he just lost his partner. Next, let's check out his back bling. This thing is called the Iron Cage, and I can see why. Almost looks like a cage back there, or possibly some bones or a spine. It's got the sort of collar part here as well. It's got a peg that fits into the peg hole in the back of the figure. Here he is wearing his back bling. You can sort of see it sticking out from the back. If I flip the guy around, get a kind of better look at it. And here's his back bling next to all the other back blings released by Jazwares so far for their Legendary Series. And here are all the different back blings released between Jazwares and McFarlane both for their Fortnite figures. Unfortunately, these are not interchangeable between both lines, as the thickness of the peg does not fit into the peg holes the same way. And here are several different Jazwares figures wearing each other's back blings, showing that they are interchangeable between the Jazwares figures. And like I said before, the back blings are not interchangeable between both lines. If you take a Jazwares back bling and a McFarlane back bling, the thickness of the peg is just different. So if you were to try to take the McFarlane figure and put a Jazwares back bling into him, it would not fit no matter how hard you try. And in turn, if you were to take a Jazwares figure and a McFarlane back bling, it would fit inside, but the peg is so thin it would just fall right out. Next, let's check out this harvesting tool, or more commonly referred to as a pickaxe. This is called the iron beak. You can definitely see why. Sort of resembles a beak of a raven at the front there. It's got the same blue stuff hanging out the back, just like the figure has on his collar. And here he is holding his pickaxe. Then as Raven's walking down the street, he hears this noise, decides to chop through the brick and figure out what it is. And then not only did he break through the wall, but he gained some brick and found the chest that was making all that noise. And it looks like he got a hand cannon, some clingers, and a 50 pot from that chest. And then here is his pickaxe next to all the different pickaxes Jazwares has released so far for their Legendary collection. And then here are all the different pickaxes released by both Jazwares and McFarlane. I'm happy to report that they are interchangeable between both lines. Here are several different Jazwares figures holding each other's pickaxes, showing that they are interchangeable between the Jazwares line. And here are a couple of Jazwares figures holding McFarlane pickaxes, and some McFarlane figures holding Jazwares pickaxes, showing that they are interchangeable between both lines. Next, let's check out his guns. He does come with two of them. The top one there is a bolt-action sniper rifle, and the bottom one there is a hand cannon. Here is the Jazwares version of the hand cannon on the bottom, compared with the McFarlane version of the hand cannon on the top. And here are all the different pistols they released between Jazwares and McFarlane. This first row here, Jazwares, we got a scoped revolver, a suppressed pistol, a regular revolver. Next we've got the hand cannon, regular pistol, dual pistols. These two rows are Jazwares. This row is McFarlane. Here's their version of the hand cannon, the 6-shooter, and the flintlock. Here's the Jazwares Bolt Sniper Rifle compared with the McFarlane one on top. Here are all the different sniper or scoped weapons released by both Jazwares and McFarlane. The only McFarlane one is the Bolt Sniper on the top right. Here's Jazwares Bolt Sniper, Hunting Rifle, Thermal, Semi-Auto Sniper, and a scoped revolver. Here he is holding his hand cannon extended forward. As you can see, his trigger finger fits into the trigger slot nicely. And here he is holding his Bolt Sniper Rifle. Good luck getting him to hold it properly so his eye can look through the scoped area. He can use one hand to support the gun and one hand in the trigger area. And even though it's not game accurate, if you wanted this guy to hold both guns at the same time, he sure can. Here are all the different guns they've released so far in the Jazwares Legendary Series. And here are all the different guns released by both Jazwares and McFarlane, not including the guns that both companies have released. And here are several different Jazwares figures holding each other's weapons, showing they are interchangeable between the Jazwares line. And then here's a couple of McFarlane figures holding Jazwares weapons, and some Jazwares figures holding McFarlane weapons, showing you they are interchangeable between both lines. Next, let's check out his cube accessory. This thing looks visually pretty cool, a bunch of different sort of designs all around it. There was a giant cube. There was a big event during one of the seasons. I believe this to be a shrunken down version of that. This thing was nicknamed Kevin the Cube by the fan base, and Epic Games sort of took and embraced that nickname. And he can actually hold the cube, like so. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at Raven's accessories, next let's check out some other Fortnite accessories or vehicles that work good to enhance your Jazwares collection. Here he is being pushed around in the McFarlane shopping cart. And then here he is pushing someone else in the shopping cart. I must say these Jazwares figures work great with the McFarlane shopping cart. Here he is driving the McFarlane Quad Crasher. Even though he's got this sort of soft material here, I was able to sort of make it work for the most part. And here he is riding on the back of the Quad Crasher, trying to use a hand cannon to take some people out along the way. One thing that's pretty cool, the pegs on the back of the Quad Crasher actually work with the Jazwares figures peg holes. Next, let's check them out compared with some of the McFarlane glider and launchpad combo sets. So far, here he is scaling up next to them, fully assembled. Here he is using the launch pad, getting ready to glide all across the map. And yes, he is able to use the McFarlane glider, which is pretty cool. Considering gliders are such an important part of the game, it's nice to be able to have one for your figures. And then yes, he can also ride the sort of regular gliders as well. Next, here he is with a treasure chest. This treasure chest is also released by Jazwares, the same company that makes this figure. This treasure chest is oversized compared to this guy, and it's not even meant for this line, it's meant for the smaller 4-inch line. You might think to yourself, how the heck is it made for the smaller line if it's too big for these guys? It wasn't really meant to be in scale, it's just an accessory pack. It comes with a bunch of guns and building material on the inside. Since treasure chests are sort of a big part of the game, I thought it was great to have one that's at least remotely in the right ballpark or the right size. And here he is next to a llama. Obviously this llama is not from Jazwares or McFarlane. It's just a stuffed animal that I found at Walmart. But because llamas have sort of become a staple of the game, whenever you see this sort of a llama, you think Fortnite. I thought it's good to have one for the figures. Here he is with a can of spray paint, getting ready to tag the wall behind him. Here he is healing up with a campfire. This campfire came from a NECA Friday the 13th Jason figure, and I thought it would be great to double up with my Fortnite figures. Here he is holding onto a balloon. This came with one of the previous Jazwares releases. And then here are a bunch of different healing and shield regenerating items that came with some other Jazwares figures. From left to right, we've got a med kit, bandages, a chug jug, a big shield or 50 pot, a slice of cake, and a mushroom. Now that we've taken a very good look at both his accessories and some other accessories you can use to enhance this figure, next let's check the height of this figure. So from bottom to top, this guy's sitting at just about 6¼ inches, which translates to about 16 centimeters. Next, let's check out this guy's articulation. So, of course, his back bling, it can rotate around. His face is removable here. His head, it can turn from side to side. This sort of collar here prevents it from going further than that. You can look down about that far, up about that far. Shoulders are on a ball joint. There's these shoulder pads that are sort of soft material above. Kind of move it out of the way and still push them up, but it prevents them from going any further than this. Looks like it's just a ball joint in there. I think he's got a butterfly joint, but I really can't see the extra bit of material inside of there, but it does kind of go in and out a little bit. He's got a bicep cut below that. Can't really see it. It's covered up by this clothing here. Double jointed elbows below that. Then go all the way in. So wrist can rotate around. It's also hinged. Then he has finger articulation as well. He's got a ball joint here in the middle of his stomach area. Can rotate from side to side. He can go in and out as well, giving him a pretty good range of motion there. He's got a traditional waist swivel below that. Legs here on a ball joint. And then go out about that far. If these things weren't in the way, go out probably a little further. Forward about that much. Back, really not too much either. Does have a thigh cut below that. Double jointed knees below that. He's got a shin cut where the boot is. His feet then go up, down, forward, back. They can sort of rock, rotate a little bit, and then toe articulation in addition to that. Next, let's check this guy out compared to some other action figures, starting with some other Fortnite figures. Here he is next to the most recent assortment of Jazwares Fortnite figures. Here he is next to the entire Jazwares Fortnite Legendary Collection. And here he is next to the entire McFarlane Fortnite Collection. And here are all the different Fortnite figures that I got multiples of. You may wonder, why so many? Well, I got all 4 different faces from the wild cards to make my Royal Flush Gang in my DC action figure world. I got 4 of each Skull Trooper to use as Scarecrow henchmen in my Batman action figure world. 2 crack shots for Toyman henchmen, 4 Rabbit Raiders, and 4 Night Hares for Mad Hatter henchmen. And then here's this guy in a huge battle royale with all of my Fortnite figures. As you can see, they're all shooting each other, shooting explosives, driving around, gliding, healing, getting loot, sniping, all trying to kill each other, see who can get the most kills in this game, and more importantly, who can get the win. Next, let's check him out compared to some other action figure lines to see how he fits in both scale and style-wise. Here he is next to some DST, or Diamond Select Toys, action figures. And here he is next to some McFarlane Toys, action figures. Then here he is next to some NECA figures. And here he is next to some DC Direct and DC Collectibles, action figures. Then next to some Mattel wrestling figures. And then here he is next to some Mezco 1/12 cloth soft goods action figures. And here he is next to some Mattel DC Universe Classics and Multiverse figures. Then here he is next to some Mafex action figures. Then next to some Hasbro Marvel Legends. And then next to some SH Figure Arts action figures. Now I must say, I think this guy's a pretty cool Fortnite figure. The Raven's always been a pretty cool design. At first I was kind of put off by how flat the face was, but it does capture the essence pretty well when looking at it from the right point of view. Unfortunately, it can also look pretty bad depending on the angles and whatnot. If I had to rate this figure, I'd give him a 7.5 out of 10. He's definitely a cool figure. I'm enjoying him every bit as much as I hoped I would. This is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add it in the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Be on the lookout for all my reviews on the rest of the Jazwares Legendary Series 3. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.